let's get into the latest here around the Atlanta Falcons and maybe what they could be potentially do in free agency. So the report came out that the Falcons could add a tight end in free agency instead of the draft. I thought this was a pretty interesting article from ESPN nonetheless. But Hayden Hurst, he's under contract, so that's one of the tight ends that they have. Luke Stalker, he's the free agent. So besides Hayden Hurst, you don't really have anyone. Now, Austin Hooper was a solid tight end for the Falcons back in 2019. He went to the Cleveland Browns, and since then, Matt Ryan has continued to be able to look for a solid tight end that he can rely on. I understand that Atlanta traded a second-round pick for Hayden Hurst. But if anybody honestly can look me in the face and say that Hayden Hurst is worth a second-round pick, I'm going to respectfully say you're crazy. So here's what ESPN had to say potentially on the Falcons' game plan at tight end. Atlanta has to find Hurst some help, but may opt to do it in free agency instead of the draft. There are a load of available free agents that wouldn't cost much that could supplement Hurst as a pass catcher or be mainly used as a blocker. So what I'm going to be doing here is breaking down some potential targets that the Falcons could have in free agency, especially at the tight end position. Now, one of the things that is important to say here is they don't have a lot of money. Now, some of these guys might not be an option. They might be able to move a few players here and there. But what I wanted to be able to do is give you a list of my top 5 free agent targets at the tight end position based on talent and honestly just based on overall need and maybe even some fit. At number 1, it's Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry is the best free agent tight end on the market. There's no doubt about that. Can Atlanta really figure out a way to bring him in? I'm actually not 100% sure about that. He's going to request a lot of money. I mean, last year was franchise tagged by the Chargers. I anticipate him getting a deal over $8 million. And if you're Atlanta, is that really the type of money you want to spend at tight end when you need to continue to be able to either get a running back, you need to build the offensive line, no doubt about that, and you got a lot of holes to fill on defense. So I get what he did, but it might not be the best logical option there. Number 2, Jonnu Smith, tight end from the Tennessee Titans. In terms of who's more realistic, I actually think Jonnu Smith makes a lot more sense for Atlanta than actually Hunter Henry, and it's simply based on money. Plus, Smith is a player that I liked a lot. He was always overshadowed by Delanie Walker, and actually Delanie Walker has just come out and said that he kind of wants to come back out and try to play it again. He's not on the list here, but Jonnu Smith, 41 catches last year, 448 yards, 8 touchdowns, could be a solid red zone option who can also block. Let's go to Gerald Everett, number 3 on my list. The Los Angeles Rams, I'm curious to see what they ultimately try to do offensively here. Gerald Everett had some solid games, had some not-so-solid games, overshadowed by Tyler Higbee. But if you're looking for a cheaper option who I do actually think has some athletic ability and would actually be a pretty solid fit, I understand he only had 1 touchdown, but could still be a solid fit for this Atlanta team. Gerald Everett comes in at number 3 on my list. If you're looking for an awesome deal, look no further. NFL shirts under $18.74. If you got a favorite team, which I imagine y'all do, go to chatsports.com/NFL shirts because they just released these new shirts, and they like to call them their X-ray shirts. I think they're super dope. They come in sizes from small all the way up to 4XL, and in fact, Bronco shirts are even cheaper than $18.74. And if you're a Buccaneers fan, I've even seen $14.99. I mean, if you need an NFL shirt, usually they're $25, I believe, but they are on sale right now. They come in all different colors, all different sizes as well. Chatsports.com/NFL shirts. If you want to spam in the chat who your favorite NFL team is, please go do it. I definitely would appreciate that. One more time, chatsports.com/NFL shirts, where you can get these X-ray shirts under $18.74. But hurry, because I do know for some NFL teams they are going quick, so don't be the fan that misses out on this awesome deal. Jared Cook is a solid veteran who, sure, he's getting up there in age at age 33, but maybe is still looking to get a cheaper contract. 7 touchdowns last year for the New Orleans Saints, 504 yards, 37 catches. Now, the last player that we're going to bring up here is the tight end that's kind of been circulating probably the most, and it's Kyle Rudolph, was just let go by the Minnesota Vikings. But if you go back to what ESPN originally said about potentially finding an option, they want to be able to find someone who's reliable in terms of catching the football, red zone option, and can block. That's what Kyle Rudolph is. Now, last year he didn't have that good of a year. 28 catches, 334 yards, and a touchdown. The biggest reasons is because Justin Jefferson, he took a big step forward. Also, Irv Smith Jr., who they drafted in the second round, I believe 54 overall a few years ago, he also took over for Rudolph. And if maybe, just maybe, he's willing to eat a little bit of his contract, not try to get paid so much, could be an interesting option there for the Atlanta Falcons. So let's hear it here. Name a tight end that the Falcons should go out and sign. Get your votes in. I always want to be able to hear what you guys have to say. Atlanta, they might not go get somebody in free agency. They might not go get somebody in the draft. Now, if I had to put my money down, I would say free agency is the more likely option. But go ahead and let me know a tight end that the Falcons should sign.